Welcome back, Elden Ring fans, to another video. Summer's Game Fest is right around the corner, and a lot of games are about to be released, and one of them that I'm kind of expecting right now is Elden Ring's DLC and some more Armored Core stuff. So we're going to go over some of the things that I actually expect, because a lot of people have their doubts of this Summer Games Fest for FromSoft, but I'm going to be the optimistic guy, and I'm going to tell you that I really have high expectations for this. Miyazaki doesn't fail very often when it comes to Summer's Games Fest. Elden Ring was actually, shown off at Summer's Games Fest last time, more than a year ago. And that's kind of what I'm expecting right now. I'm expecting something really good to come from this. So if you kind of have your doubts of what they're going to actually do, don't. Go into this with a little bit of high expectation, because you deserve to. You're going to pay $70 for this game, for next-gen games. Expect them to be good. I know it's always like, don't have doubts and stuff like that, or have doubts and stuff, because you don't want to, spoil your expectation, but it's good to have expectation. Elden Ring is very, very well received. It has an expectation to meet. So I'm expecting to see a lot of stuff here. So what I'm going to go ahead and go through is some of the stuff that I think that we might see, coming up into Summer's Games Fest, which is tomorrow, at, I believe, 3 p.m. I don't know. I'm gonna be probably at work whenever it goes off, so you guys won't be able to see my reaction live to the actual show itself. But I will be ecstatic if we hear something, and I am expecting stuff. So let's go ahead and go over that. With Summer's Games Fest, I'm not expecting a DLC. Like it's just gonna launch for Shadows of the Erdtree. I doubt that'll happen. That's like a 90% impossibility. But what I expect to see is I do expect to see a gameplay CGI trailer like they had at last Summer Games Fest. I do expect that level of, it's still in engine. It's a cinematic, not really CGI, but more cinematic of the DLC. I expect to see that, and there's a couple things we'll go over of what I want from the DLC, but we'll talk about that later. I expect that and a possible release window. Maybe not a release date, but a release window of, late 2023, early 2024, something like that. I'm hoping sooner than later, but I mean, if they got to put this baby in the oven, they got to keep it in the oven, go ahead, because I want that to be as best as possible. I'm a much more happier camper when games are ready. Now, I do expect Armored Core gameplay and multiplayer gameplay, and them going over stuff like that. I do expect them to go through that. I don't expect it to be very long. I just expect it to be like a teaser trailer for it, maybe a story trailer, something like that, and then of course a pre-order sign and them saying like, hey, you can pre-order the game now. These are some of the exclusives we're going to give you, and that's about it. They've already said that kind of stuff, but I figure they'll reiterate over that, and maybe me giving kind of hope just for hope, just kind of out there. I would like to see them maybe hint at a remaster of one of the older games that they have. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be Kingsfield. It could be Souls. I'm leaning more towards Souls myself. But they could do a remaster or remake of like Dark Souls 2. That would be great. That could be something that could hold people over. If this DLC goes into the next year, it can hold people over who aren't Armored Core fans. And I'm not exactly a hardcore Armored Core fan, but I'm going to try with the next series and, with this next game. I am very much looking forward to that. It does look like it's going to be interesting, and I like FromSoft's games. I like how interesting they are and how dynamic they are in difficulty. So that is something I'm looking forward to. Now, when it comes to the DLC, what do I expect from the DLC? Since it is a very big topic right now, and we only have one day to find out if it's actually going to happen tomorrow, and I hope it does. I pray it does. But a lot of people are talking about, Mikola and all this other stuff about the story, and I'm not actually as much interested in just the story as I am also the gameplay aesthetic. What could FromSoft add to spice up the life of Elden Ring? Well, they could implement new types of damage types. Maybe not, we're going to make dark damage and we're going to make chaos damage. We're going to, instead of it being magic and fire, maybe make a different scaling type. So you could add Dark Moon, which could be an occult and also an intelligence-based, scaling for your weapon. You can add maybe a new type of physical damage that is a higher grade of whatever the physical scales with. Like occult right now is pretty bad, and I meant to say intelligence and arcane. for Dark Moon. I just think it would be a cool idea for them to have where everybody's build can be unique. You know, you're starting to twist things up and make it actually useful compared to what other stuff really was. You know, like Madness Spears, they're only you know, they're a faith-based, but they're madness. I don't want more status effects, don't get me wrong. I do not want that. I'm tired of status effects. But I do find it interesting that they created something like madness. I'm sure that they have the creativity to find something else and create something else borderline with the gameplay to be better, to open up build variety, because, you know, it's not just, you're not just using faith, you're using madness, which is something that is crazy. You know, it's still a religion, it's still faith-based, but it's a different take on it. It's the opposite take of what you would believe a godly figure would present, where they are stoic. Instead, you're mentally insane. You're literally mad. And, you know, as you're seeing in this video, I'm using Madness Spears, and me and my friend are actually testing this out. There are a lot of true combos once you actually proc Madness that are ridiculous. So I'm hoping that they do, again, one of the things I'm expecting, nerf and hopefully balance the game a little bit better, because it's not like it's terrible right now. I mean, it is pretty bad with certain things, but I've come to kind of like some of the stuff that's kind of overpowered. Just because it gives spirit to the game, but I don't want that to be tearing people apart who are new coming into the franchise when this DLC launches. So I'm expecting them to start doing updates here soon after Summer Games Fest, maybe even at Summer's Games Fest. Maybe they'll do something crazy like, hey, we're updating the Colosseums. I would love to see more stuff like that. You know, I want to see, like I said, I want to see build varieties that they start opening up with new class types. You know, maybe not new leveling up system, but, you know, new scaling types. You know, things that go with strength and faith, strength and dex, which is already in there, but like they do different damage types. Maybe Dark Moon does cold, but it also does raw physical instead of just magic and whatever. It does something, you know, that wouldn't be what I would particularly pick it for, but that would be something that's cool. It scales with your arcane to do more fucking frostbite, which would be retarded, but we're not going to go over that. That would be ridiculously insane, mind my language. That would just be ridiculous. Nobody would want that to happen, because then you would just have bleed times a ridiculous amount. It would be so dumb. But I think it would be cool to have something like that. Now, of course, I expect the talismans in there, the +3 talismans. Everybody expects that if you played the past DLCs for other past games. All the +3 talismans are there. So this game has a lot of +2 talismans. And I'm expecting those to get fixed. You know, I'm expecting to get the +3s, which means this game's, you know, expansion is going to be huge. It's an expansion. It's not just a DLC. It's an expansion. It's huge. It's already gonna blow people's minds. But as you can see right now, there's one more thing that I want them to fix really bad, and that is net. The servers are nice and all, but they've been running pretty rampant lately. You know, every now and then, if you have somebody who has a bad connection with you, it's pretty much one-sided or two-sided. You know, you can just volatilely murder them, and sure, maybe that's a solution for being able to win, but it's not it's just not what I would want. I want more PvP. I want more multiplayer. I would like to have more than just 2 summons. I would love to have a shitload of summons. And of course, you to get invaded ridiculous amounts. I want wars. That would be cool. Now, I want it to be an option. I don't want it to be, you know, thrust upon people. Invasions, they deserve to not be optional. But the amount of people you summon in or you allow to come into your world, sure. You want to have 4 people that can come into your world? Fine. That's including 2 reds, 2 yellows? Perfectly fine with me. But you want to have 8 people? 16 people? You see mods and stuff where people go and do this stuff. It's possible. They can do it. But FromSoft hasn't done it yet. I don't know why. Maybe they're holding it off for another title. And if they are, that makes me feel bad. But it's also like, hey, you know what? There's something to look forward to in the future. But that's basically what I wanted to go over inside this video. And I just wanted to show it off and say, like, hey, you know, this is something to be hyped about. There's tons of games getting released tomorrow, or at least talked about tomorrow. There's tons of games that'll be there. FromSoft and Bandai Namco, I'm sure, are there. Bandai Namco for sure is there. I'm sure that FromSoft will be there with some teaser trailers and stuff, and you guys will have stuff to look forward to. Hopefully, everybody hasn't just kind of given up on the game. You know, I know there's some game-breaking bugs that we are kind of showing off here. You know, some simple things that even if you're not good at the game, you can still enjoy it and you can still beat it. I didn't enjoy cheesing bosses and stuff like that, but I did want to go ahead and show it off that you can still do it. You know, it's not... Elden Ring has a problem not with the game being difficult, but with them teaching people how to actually play and how to level up their characters and how it works. So if you guys enjoyed this, please go ahead and leave a like down below, a comment, subscribe, and tell me what you guys expect to see from Summer's Game Fest. And hopefully I'll see you guys after tomorrow with some good news, and we'll have something to really enjoy from this, you know, this announcement that'll hopefully be made tomorrow for Elden Ring's DLC and hopefully some more Armored Core. So, I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to. And, you know, you guys already know what to do. Peace out, guys. See you later.